Alright, so today I want to talk about food, and in particular how Americans and Britons love to argue about who's got the best food. Right now, we got the best food. No, we got the best food. Your food is trash. Your food is, all that stuff. I ain't gonna lie, there's been maybe a few times where I've gotten in my feelings a little bit when somebody's made fun of British food. But what I'm realizing is that it's such a pointless argument about who's got the best food, whether that's Britain, whether that's America, whether that's anywhere really. It's actually a very pointless argument, and there's a few reasons for that. Now, the first reason is that the people who are usually arguing these things, we're not experts, right? We're not trained professionals. We're just regular people. Like, we know what we like because we grew up with certain things that our parents made for us, and that's what we're used to. And that's what we like. So when we go somewhere else and the food is a little bit different, there's sometimes that little bit of, oh no, this ain't we make, so this is bad, or this is ours is better because ours tastes like this and this tastes like that. And it's like, it's not better, it's just different. And we consider the fact that, like I said, we're not experts in food, we're just regular people. And people who are experts in food, they spend years, like years, training their taste buds to discern different flavors and different foods, like to the point where they can eat a cookie and then list all the ingredients in that cookie. You know, like they train their taste buds to do that, right? To discern all these different flavors and flavor profiles and everything else. And yet even they don't always agree on what things taste like. So why are us regular folk who just know what we know from what we grew up because we were fed this when we were kids, what are we arguing about? We're arguing from a place of complete ignorance. The truth is, there's no such thing as bad food. It's just different. And of course it's going to be different. Like if you grow a tomato in London, of course it's going to be different to a tomato grown in Los Angeles or a tomato grown in Tokyo or wherever, because the soil is different, the rain is different, the general weather is different, the conditions are different, the insects are different, you know, everything's different. So in the end, you still have a tomato, but it's going to have slightly different flavors. It's not that one's better than the other, it's just different. And the other reason why it's a pointless discussion is that there's very few items of food that are actually British, and very few items of foods that are actually American. And even stuff that we consider to be British cuisines or American traditions, they have their roots that go back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years in some cases, to other parts of the world, to Africa, to Asia, to Natafian, which is where bread comes from. So pretty much anything that involves any kind of bread, Natufian, whether that's a pizza, whether that's a burger bun, whether that's a cheese and onion sarnie, none of that exists without Natufian innovation. Well, let's take beans and toast, for example, as a well-known British staple. Bread, Natufian, and by the way, Natufian is the area of the world that's now called Israel, Palestine, Jordan, that whole region. The first people to toast bread were the ancient Romans or ancient Egyptians. The first people to cultivate beans were the Israelites. And baked beans in tomato sauce, guess who was the first to do that? The Americans, specifically Native Americans. So beans on toast, known as a British dish, isn't really that British. How about mac and cheese, which is a popular dish at American Cookout? Pasta comes from China or the Middle East around 1700 BC. Macaroni specifically comes from Switzerland. Cheese comes from the Middle East. Now with that said, guess who was the first to do mac and cheese? The British. Actually, to be fair, that's not quite accurate. Britain was the first to do what's known as the modern day mac and cheese, but mac and cheese roots go way back to 13th century Italy. Anyway, the point is, most of our foods come from a variety of different parts of the world. When we're arguing about who's got the best food, Britain or America, I mean, what are we doing? We're just arguing about who stole the best ideas from other places. We're not food experts that can decipher individual flavor profiles. We're not even that cultured or educated on the history of food. We're really just a bunch of ignorant people arguing over a topic that none of us really know anything about. And in the end, it really doesn't matter, because there's really no such thing as one food being better than another food. It's just different.